Hello everyone, I am Dr. Mahua Shikdar, consultant diabetologist practicing in West Bengal. It gives me great pleasure discussing about a concept which shows us how to overcome clinical inertia in our practice by making simple, effective and intelligent choice of treatment in the management of type 2 diabetes. Now, there could be two different therapeutic approaches to any particular type 2 diabetic patient. The older one, conventional one, where we go very slow. There is delayed onset, delayed initiation of OHA, delayed intensification. Here we sequentially, very slowly add different OHs. What happens here, we suppose a patient comes to us and we give only diet and exercise. They wait for few months and patient come back with very high sugar. We may give only metformin very small dose. Like this it goes on and we wait. Like this it goes on, and it does not go very well in the management of type 2 diabetes. Why? Because of this clinical inertia, we miss the first initial golden years of type 2 diabetic patient's life, where actually there is loss of beta cell function, beta cell mass. The progression of beta cell loss occurs very rapidly, and the blood sugar never gets under good control. Because of high glucotoxicity, patients develop that different micro and microvascular complications, and because of that this clinical inertia does not go very well in the management of type 2 diabetes. Whereas on the other hand, where the newer approach is the early aggressive treatment from the very beginning. That means intensive therapy to be given at the right from the right of the onset of type 2 diabetes patient. See, we see from the Verify trial that start a combination, suppose a DPP4 inhibitor and metformin combination. Instead of giving only metformin alone, they work better. The outcome of type 2 diabetes, this group of patients actually works better. So that is why we call a saying that hit hard, hit early, hit hard. So suppose you find a patient whose HbA1c is very high. Don't go just usual conventional, the older way of approach. Like you go slow, start with only diet and exercise, go slow, very slow, and then you start after some time, you start metformin. Don't do in that way because it does not work in that way. On the other hand, secondly, we have drugs which go far beyond the glucose lowering capacity. For example, the SGLT2 inhibitors groups in general and empagliflozin in particular have been shown to prevent heart attack, to prevent heart failure, and to be good for kidney as well. Now, it also helps to reduce body weight, blood pressure, along with a reduction of blood sugar. And in many ways, it is beneficial to our patient. Now, let's see an example of a patient. Let's say Mr. Abhi, 45 years old, recently onset type 2 diabetes. He is obese, he is a smoker. His father is got has having heart disease and also having blood sugar. So he is obese, he is a smoker, he got family history of heart disease. Recently, he started showing mild microalbuminuria, and his HbA1c is very high. His sugars are not very good under control. HbA1c is 9%, and he is taking only metformin. Now, in this situation, there is a real need of urgency to treat his blood sugar very strictly, because if we do not control aggressively from the beginning, he can develop either heart attack or stroke, or he can go to have kidney problem and so on. So we must bring down his blood sugar very strictly. We must reduce his body weight, and we must normalize the blood pressure. And also, we should provide something which can give protection for his heart and kidney. Now, all these we can get very easily from one drug, that is empagliflozin. See, we know that from EMPA-REG trial shows us that this drug, empagliflozin reduces heart attack, heart failure, 3-point MACE. It reduces cardiac death. So what more you want when you have a drug like this? Now, even if you use empagliflozin alone for Abhi, you may bring down his HbA1c to 8%. You may not be able to bring his HbA1c to normal level, that is 7%. So, in this particular situation, you have to use one more AHA. Now, if you use DPP4 inhibitor in his condition like linagliptin and SGLT2 inhibitor like empagliflozin, you can further, along with metformin, you can further reduce another 1% of HbA1c. So, Abhi will reach to near normal A1C level, that is 7%. Now we know that empagliflozin and linagliptin, this combination, fixed dose combination, is available in our country, and this fixed dose combination has an advantage of more patient compliance. Not only this, but also the cost of this fixed dose combination is 20% lesser than the cost of the drugs individually given. Now, coming back to Avi's case, if we give fixed dose combination of linagliptin and empagliflozin to Avi, his HbA1c will go around 7%. And blood pressure, we can normalize the blood pressure by empagliflozin. We can reduce the weight and again by empagliflozin, and we know weight reduction is very important for him because to give a cardiovascular protection, because Avi has got a high risk of get heart disease in future because he is a smoker and his father is having heart disease. And as I told that he also started showing microalbuminuria, so both linagliptin and empagliflozin are considered safe in kidney. And we overall we can give a basket of advantages by giving only a single pill. So therefore, we should hit hard and hit hardly in the very first 10 years of type 2 diabetic patient's life, where maximum beta cell function loss is happening. And that is why if we can hit hard, hit early from the beginning, we can reduce the complications. And also we have to keep all the parameters under control, like we have to keep blood pressure, weight, body weight, lipids are also important. So all parameters, if we can keep under control, we can definitely prevent the complications, both macro and microvascular diabetic complications in future, and we can definitely reduce the burden of diabetes in our country. Now, thank you for listening to me. I thank Lupin for asking me to participate in this podcast. Thank you all, and stay safe and stay healthy.